right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, Ariel and I jump into everything that went down on the May 19th edition of Monday Night Raw. From major storyline developments to standout matches and surprising moments, we cover it all Primo style. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. Hola, primo.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, chilling.
Yeah,
No
you seem a little just kind of,
Yeah.
a little tired. Long couple days and late taping. Yeah, I got you, man. We've done a lot in the past couple of days, and there's been a lot on, and you've been running around, got back, and still catching up on everything. Kudos to you for doing this, man. And let's do what we do, and I just want to give everybody a quick heads up that we're going to be doing a recap from Raw this week. But let's try and get through that. But real quick, how you doing, man? Everything else all right? Todo bien?
Todo bien, man. Just really excited about Raw. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot, surprisingly.
I actually did too. Yeah, I was actually like, okay, this is pretty solid. So, all right, well then, if we got nothing else, we can jump into it and we'll save some stuff for the end.
All right.
So we open with the video package involving everything that's been happening with Seth Rollins, Zayn, Breaker, the whole nine. They give you the whole package. Everything comes through. Announced for tonight is Jey Uso, or for that night, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, non-championship match. We get our walk-ins, and as you do so, you see Penta and AJ Styles. We're told that they have a match tonight, tag team match against Balor and JD. So, all right, quick couple ways to start everything, and we're good. Get to the first segment of the night, which is the music of one Logan Paul. And Paul comes out to talk his smack to Jey Uso because they have their match at Saturday night's main event. As Paul, of course, is going through everything, stating facts and fiction or what have you, he's interrupted by the ring general, Gunther.
Yeah, which I was surprised about that one.
Yeah, I'll let you rock here.
Yeah, no. Like you said, Gunther comes out, and I was really caught off guard. I was like, man, but they're doing such a great job by throwing so many swerves, different people that you don't expect to have conversations with, because you see that later on in the night as well. But yeah, no, Gunther comes out and he's letting basically Paul know that that he understands that Logan Paul is all about his business and he's a sensation, but that doesn't mean crap when it comes to the ring. And he's just letting him know that whether if he's coming out there saying that he's going to beat Jey Uso and Jey Uso beat him, he's saying indirectly, right, transferably, that he could beat Gunther. And that's
better than
no
Gunther.
shot. Yeah, not going to happen, right? Because Gunther, I like this new, Gunther's always been serious, but I like this, assertive Gunther. It's yeah, man, no, I've been champion. You ain't going to disrespect me. I will get back what's mine. I don't care who's in my way kind of attitude. And I like that. That's pretty solid on Gunther.
It's good. He's working it really, really well, and it's starting to pay off because, like I said, I'm not a big Gunther guy at all, but I'm like, okay, it's believable and it works, and he sells it well. So great job. So as Gunther is leaving the ring, Logan Paul is still standing in there, and we see from behind Logan Paul comes Jey Uso and just super kicks him square in the face, knocking him out.
Yep.
Great. I thought great way to end the segment because, like Paul said earlier in the promo, he had knocked Uso out 3 times. Yeah, and left him on his back. All these
facts, facts. He's been distracted. Facts. I knocked him out 3 times. Facts. You're a lame. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Gunther had a couple things like this. You're a self-made media guy, but this is, and for you, this is business. For me, this is what I do. So it was good. It was cool. I liked it.
Solid, and actually, it was the hardest thing Gunther said at the end of that promo was and come June 9th, I will eat you alive. And I was like, man, we're getting European hostile movie kind of situation.
yeah. Jeez. But I thought it was good. But so great opening segment. Way to start it off. Like I said, you sold everything for Saturday and what's coming down the pipe afterwards, because Gunther's like, whoever, I don't care which one he wins, I'm getting my belt back. But I want Jey. If you beat him, I'm going to take that as a sign of disrespect to me. And just the whole thing. But solid opening segment.
Yeah. The one thing I will say before we move on to the next segment is the fact that, man, Jey is really over. Like it is in this segment. Like if he says, "Hey crowd, jump," the crowd will be like, "How high?" Because they
absolutely
are in it, man. And I'm just like, wow. So there's no way he's losing the belt on Saturday.
No,
You know what I mean?
No. I mean, we'll save that for the prediction show, but there's no. I mean, come on.
There's no way.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, it's kind of they did it with Cody and Logan Paul in one of the pay-per-views overseas, where it was like that's not gonna happen. But I just think it's to make a match.
Yeah. But then we see a clip of Roxanne Perez earlier in that day signing over to Raw, because there was an earlier clip of, Roxanne talking to Julia, talking about, hey, like, we have to do this, and Julia's like, there is no we, because then we find out like this past, Friday, she actually ended up signing to SmackDown, which makes sense that Roxanne now is an official Raw member of their roster. So I liked it. I'm excited for it. I'm really happy with what happens later on in the evening, which we'll touch in a few. But yeah, no, I like the clip. I was down with that. I like how they did.
Yeah, no, it was great to see her sign. Like, I love Roxanne Perez. She's going to be on Raw now. Once again, testament to what you were saying, that they kept referring to them as NXT, and within the following week, one side SmackDown, one side Raw. No, great segment, and it's all in service of showing that there will be 2 women triple threat matches tonight for Money in the Bank, the qualifiers. One would be Roxanne Perez, Natty, and Becky Lynch, and the other is going to be Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark, and Kairi Sane. So those matches were announced in service of doing that. And then after those are shown, we get on to the tag match of the night. I think it was the tag match of the night. But Penta and AJ versus Balor and JD. And this was just a fun match. I was really happy with it. I thought the length was good. I think it was like 3 commercial breaks. And I'm like, this is still interesting and good.
Yeah.
I thought it was an absolutely fantastic match.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got 4 of the best to do it in the ring, right? Because AJ, legend, right? Penta, legend. Finn Balor, legend. And JD, legend in his own right. I mean,
he's solid, he's solid.
Yeah, the way he took that Mexican Destroyer off the steps, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and mind you, again, we keep bringing this back up, but like, bro, calm down. You just punctured a lung. You know what I mean? Like, please.
Slow it down. But he's taking, because I'm watching him land and everything, and I'm like, ooh, that's gotta sting a lot, especially after bringing that, puncturing the lung and bringing the rib. Like,
yeah. No, but overall, great match. Love the little bit of interference going on with Carlito on the outside. And then just when you think Penta and AJ are getting momentum, then we get El Grande Americano. Yeah.
Your boy Chad Gable.
No. El Grande Americano. They're not the same.
El Grande Americano interferes because Penta is clearing house, and then he backs up to the railing. El Grande Americano comes from behind him with that metal thing in his head, headbutts him in the back of the head. Balor comes out, throws him in the ring. Coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Penta screwed by El Grande Americano yet again, or shall I say, otra vez.
There you go. But overall, great match. And then we get the next segment, I believe, which is Io Sky promo, right? Talking about how she's the greatest champion, but then gets interrupted by Becky Lynch because she's heading out for her qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. And I was just like,
the triple threat.
Dude, yeah, triple threat. Yes. Don't disrespect Io like that. Why is everybody disrespecting her, man?
Enough with this. Like, enough with this.
Yeah.
Like, I just and every interview that she does get to finish is like, she's like, I am the women's world champion and all this, like, and she sells it well, and then they just keep cutting her off, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing she has the belt, because if you were disrespecting her, she'd have the belt. I'd be fucking pissed. Like,
for real.
I'd be really,
I just be
really
bashing
annoyed
people
at
at
that.
this point.
Yeah,
like, bam, just get out of my face.
Come on, man. That's wrong. Yeah. So, but the interview was fine. I'll take whoever wins, and what have you. But there was something mid-match or prior to the tag match that I want to go back and touch on. There was a conversation with Jey Uso in the back and Paul Heyman.
That's right.
Where Heyman was just like, look, it's going to be Seth Rollins. So
facts. It's going to be him.
Yeah,
facts,
more of this fact nonsense. But
yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. So then after that, we get the Io Sky thing, and then Logan Paul and Seth Rollins are now talking in the back, where Seth is just kind of being like, hey, whichever one of you does it, I'm taking it anyway, trying to scare him, muscle him around a little bit. So I thought it was all right, fine. And then that's when we get the triple threat match. Now they finally go back to the beginning of the match. Sorry.
Right. Actual match. Yeah. Yeah, no. And then again, I keep getting more and more impressed with Roxanne Perez. I know you've hyped her up a lot, and she's really done tremendous work since she started appearing on Monday Night Raw. So I've been really entertained with that. She's really good. I mean, but overall, everybody is really good in that match. But then I was kind of surprised to see too how good Natalia's gotten too, right? I mean, she's always been good,
Yeah.
but she really held her own in that match.
Well,
too.
they gave her a bunch of good spots towards the end of the match there, and she shined. She was, taking bumps and selling things. There was one or two small hiccups somewhere, but that's always nitpicking. But no, she actually did a really great job in this match. I know she's been down in NXT for a little while, having some matches down there, but really, no, she shined, and yeah, Roxanne Perez getting the win here was just absolutely fantastic. After a little interference from Lyra Valkyria, who comes in and just starts working Becky Lynch over, leaving it to almost be like essentially a one-on-one, where Roxanne Perez takes advantage.
Yeah, which is crazy because it seems like for both women's triple threat qualifying match, it was like it ended up being like a one-on-one for planned reasons and unplanned reasons, right?
Yeah,
which we'll touch on too, because that was wild.
That was not very fun to watch, and I felt really bad about that.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll get into that in a second, but yeah. So the Lyra interference thing I thought was great. Great way to work the angle. This way, Becky doesn't get into Money in the Bank just yet. Roxanne gets that spot, and you can still work the story angle with Lyra and Becky, which you said you wanted to see more of, and yeah, I'm down now too. Let's just roll. I'm down.
Yeah. And then we get to see Sammy in the back with Jay, letting him know, hey, if Braun Breaker starts playing the numbers game, I got your back.
I got your back, right?
I was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I feel like some swerve is coming somewhere. Like something is happening.
It feels
somewhere.
like that.
Because they're just setting up way too much, or it feels like they're setting up way too much. Maybe that's just the wrestling mind in me that's just trying to dig deeper and figure out the storyline always. But I feel like they're just setting this up way too much, that something has to happen.
Yeah. And actually, for me, believe it or not, I feel like it's a swerve on top of a swerve. To me, it feels like they're just throwing so much at us that they want us to think everything is possible. You know what I mean? Even though the answer could be right in front of us, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, is it Seth that's going to walk away champion soon? Is it Gunther that's going to get it soon? Is it Jay that's going to retain and surprise everybody? Is it Logan Paul? You know what I mean? Like they're doing such a great job to keep us guessing that it's almost making me angry because we can't really see it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And because there's so many players in the game. Like you said, I mean, there's 4 people now, waiting in the wings, because you have the champ Jay, you have him going against Paul, and then you still have Gunther waiting after that, and then Seth Rollins inevitably is going to get his shot. So that's 4. It's just tough because you want to figure it out and you just can't, and it stinks. But that's why we watch. That's why we watch.
Yeah. But overall, good conversation between Sammy and Jay. And then what I really liked was the next segment where we see Kairi Sane, in the background. And man, she is looking buff, bro. She's looking ready to get back in the game, man.
I always thought she looked a little thin, and you're right. She looked like how'd it go? She was doing a little shadow boxing. I was like, all right, Kairi Sane. Okay, let's do it. Like, I thought she looked fantastic. It was amping me up for the women's triple threat match, the next one.
Yeah, for sure. She definitely put on some muscle, and good to see her back. But then we get the next match, which is actually Sheamus versus Grayson Waller. Which, I mean,
this was the filler, and you needed to do this after what Waller did to Austin Theory. So you had to put something else in here, get Sheamus some work, and use some of your talent. I guess fine match. Sheamus wins. Yeah. Kind of what you expect. The one fun part was at the end when Austin Theory's like, "Oh man, you gotta get back in. You can't leave. And then he just walked him into the 10 club punch or whatever, and then
he was just like, "Oops," and that's it. Yeah, match over.
Match over and fine, all well and good. After that, then we had, or actually before that, because they just do so many things in between matches. There was a clip from 2012.
Yeah.
Of the main event of Monday Night Raw, which was John Cena versus Michael Cole.
And barbecue sauce.
And yeah, because they were in JR's hometown, and Cole, I guess, was beefing with JR at the time. I'm not sure exactly what that was because this was 2012.
Yeah.
So Cena just whoops that ass, and then it proceeds to pour barbecue sauce all over a Michael Cole who is now pantsless.
Yeah.
And has his shirt ripped open. So he's sitting there in his drawers and in his socks, and he's just getting barbecue sauce poured all over him. And it was kind of funny to watch and funny to see Michael Cole. I'm glad he was able to do that and laugh along with it and just kind of be cool about it. I thought that was a fun moment.
Yeah, it was nice. Like you said, though, I agreed. I felt like this episode did have a lot of fillers or a lot of in between segments. It's almost like, all right, dude, let me watch the match. Let me get to the ring. Let's do that. But,
the entrances are so long now that's what they do. I know that the minute, especially for the triple threat matches, because I'm like, it's going to take 7 minutes for everyone to get in there. So that's why they had these video packages in between. Because I'm like, because I'm not going to sit there and watch all 3 of them come down for 7 minutes, like a 7-minute clip. No.
Yeah. But then we get Tozawa talking to Adam Pearce and confirming that he is now cleared from medical, that he's able to compete, and that he wants Rusev next week. And he got that match, but then gets interrupted by Chad Gable and Ivy Nile, basically asking for their qualifying matches. Like, when are they going to get their opportunities? And then we get the New Day coming in and mentioning their triple threat match against the Viking Raiders, War Raiders.
War Raiders.
Yeah, I keep going back to Viking. I don't know why.
That was NXT, right? And then they were like the Viking Experience, and then like something like
that with the War Raiders and the Creed brothers, and there's a whole like, again, I feel like they're just putting people on camera just to put people on camera, but it was
you got to fill some time. Well, I mean, it was because the New Day to point out that they don't want the War Raiders to win the belts. That's something they and Gable can agree on.
Yeah,
because Gable's like, my guys are going to win. Maybe, but either way, nobody wants the War Raiders. Then the best part is when Pierce is like, can you have this conversation outside? And then Xavier Woods is like, yeah, because it smells like midlife crisis in here.
Yeah. You know what? Their little puns are really good, because even when they were leaving, Adam Pearce is like, thank God. And then you hear Kofi say, for the New Day. And I was just like, oh, okay. That was good.
Yeah.
I give him that.
New Day, baby. New Day. Told you, man. These guys are awesome. It's great. Yeah, it's fun time.
Even for 5 seconds, they're awesome.
Dope.
But then anyway, the next segment, I believe we get the little video snippet from the interaction from last year between what was it, Tyrese
Halliburton, right? And Jalen Brunson, because it was at the Garden last year. Pacers Knicks, I think, was happening or about to happen, or might have just ended.
Yeah.
So they did this, and now Eastern Conference Finals, it's on again.
It's really happening.
And so they did an interview with Halliburton, and he's part of the Ballers and whatever pack that is on the WWE game. Mm-hmm. So they did an interview with him, which was fine, talking wrestling, whatever. Not even really wrestling, talking Eastern Conference Finals and stuff like that. But it's fine, all good. I understand they had to do it, plug him, and then let's see if we can carry this out to the Garden tomorrow night.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, no, what I enjoyed about that segment, though, it was really cool. A bunch of things, right? You saw that there's actually some of their T-shirts on WWEshop.com, right? You got the Tyrese 316, and then you got the Jalen Brunson T-shirt. 370, right? And then you get the what's it called? The Jalen Brunson shirt as well. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then B, it's also exciting to see athletes appreciate wrestling. You know what I mean? Like other athletes appreciate other athletes, and I think that's always good to see.
You always have someone in the front row. Kittle's a big one who's there usually from the 49ers and stuff like that. Yeah. So but it's respect. That's great that these athletes who because wrestling is scripted or whatever, it's they play hard to win. To have them come out and respect and just give props to the superstars in the ring is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. And then we get the Gunther Seth quick segment there, where it's like Seth is like, oh, well, it's good to see each other. I know we haven't seen each other in a minute, but basically saying that he is the one that's going to end up walking away with the championship. But Gunther's like, no, I'm claiming my place as the future. You're not the future, Seth. And I love that. Again, going back to the back and forth, like what's going to happen? Who's really going to walk away with this? Like, they're doing a lot of like distractions, because I feel like something crazy is going to happen. Not necessarily this Saturday, but in the next major PLE.
Money in the Bank, because that's like 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it was funny because Seth was like, I came out here and thought I was talking to someone who I thought I respected, because Gunther was like, I'm not like, you're not gonna just roll over here like da da da.
Yeah.
So it was, like I said, props to Gunther. He's good on the mic and with his acting. Rollins is just being Rollins as always, just that annoying little needling guy. So great segment. Point made, like you said, and then just leaving you wondering, like, Rollins has had a conversation with everybody so far. Like, what is going to happen?
Yeah. And then that leads into the second triple threat qualifying match for the Money in the Bank for the women's side. And we get Zoe Starks versus Kairi Sane versus Rhea Ripley. And fantastic match all around, right? It did start off really strong. Unfortunately, we definitely hope and wish nothing but the best to Zoe Starks, because she did have a pretty nasty injury with her knee. Yeah. I believe it was the surgically repaired knee as well. So we definitely wish nothing but a speedy recovery for her. Yeah, absolutely.
I second that. Speedy recovery to Zoe Stark. Hopefully you're on the mend and everything is okay. But I saw that landing, and then Cole even said it later on. Michael Cole said it. He's like, that's the second time on that knee. Like, he's like, it's essentially now a one-on-one match because she's gone. And then I was flipping through one of the social medias and a lot of wrestling on my feeds, of course. And someone had like stopped the frame of how her knee fully bent. And that's something that I hate. I hate that. I think it's just unnecessary. It's uncalled for. You shouldn't, like, that shouldn't be. And I just hate seeing that. It just makes me like, ugh. But yeah, that looks really, really bad. So hopefully a speedy recovery to her because she's solid. You know, she's strong in the ring, and you know, hopefully she'll get a chance to show it if and when she comes back.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, and I second that. I agree with that too. Sometimes in the moment, it's like, oh man, did we just really see what we saw? But then you're right. It's really unnecessary for like social media to like replay it over and over again. Kind of reminds me of the Ray Phoenix table injury with Luchasaurus in AEW, like that arm bend back. Oof. Oh man, it was so rough. But yes, nothing but the best for Zoe and speedy recovery. But then ultimately, like you said, the match continued on and Rhea gets the win, which I was a little surprised because I kind of wished, because I mean, I get it. I know that Kyrie just got back and they're not going to make her jump in the, you know, match right away. But I kind of wish if there was a little bit of a swerve tonight, I think that would have been the cherry on top. Like, oh, yes, like unexpected. This is a surprise. Yay. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm hope for. But
I'm with you 100% on that. I wanted Kairi Sane to win. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I'm like, they're gonna give it to Rhea, but especially for the angle that Io is the champ,
right?
And her homegirl is Kairi Sane. Yeah. So you know, but then you're playing on that Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton thing that they just spent a year or whatever doing over on SmackDown. So I get the win for Rhea Ripley. Kairi Sane looked good. She looks good, and hopefully they'll find a spot for her and start, you know, moving her. Maybe the Intercontinental belt waiting in the wings. But
that'd be good.
Yeah, but fun match for them. And you know, Rhea Ripley, of course, is Rhea Ripley, so she's gonna just dominate and, you know, walk her way to whatever the next PLE is and get herself involved, which should be fun. So now you're looking at Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley as three of your entrants in the women's Money in the Bank.
See, thus far, yeah, pretty good. And then we get another Rusev promo, this time on Tozawa. You know, with the hardest line that I heard all promo, which was your stupidity will be forgiven, but I would be forgetting your existence. And I was like, oh man, this is like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
that's how he ended it. And I was like, man, yeah, your stupidity will be forgiven. Yeah, I will forget you or whatever. But yeah, that was dope. That was dope. Like, I was like, oh damn, okay, cool. Like Rusev, I get it. You know, we're gonna come and clean everybody up and all that stuff. But yeah, that was kind of badass. I was like, oh shoot. Yeah, nice job, Rusev. Way to go.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that. Looking forward to that match. However chaotic it'll be next week.
No,
but
Tozawa was gonna get destroyed, poor guy. But
you don't know that, right? Maybe Otis will come in for the save. Like that's what I was thinking.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, because then you can now build a feud for Rusev and Otis and have two big men go at it. And because he's got to do something. He's gonna have to feud with somebody. So yeah, I think it's actually a really good call. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, for sure. See, now I'm awake. Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, see, talk a little wrestling, and now you up and moving. Now you're like, oh yeah.
No, but check it. This is the segment that kind of like bothered me, but I liked it, but I didn't like it, and I got excited about the possibilities, right? We jump into the Judgment Day segment where Finn Balor brings in Roxanne Perez to the Judgment Day, and everybody's like, what is she doing here? And what is this? And da-da-da-da. And, you know, Finn, you know, we know what Finn is trying to do. Finn is like, what do you mean? I'm just listening to Dom. Dom said we needed to think about numbers and
drive a wedge.
And then he's like, you know, the guys got the guys' backs, but who's gonna get the girls' backs when Liv returns? You know, so you know, here she is, and she comes bearing gifts and gives Dom a box of chicken nuggies, and I was like,
I loved it.
I saw it. I was like, nuggies. But
the only thing that would have been better is if they were Dino Nuggies.
Oh,
that would have been the only thing. If he opened, because my man, I thought it was like donuts or something, because that was like a very like
it was a
Krispy
donut
Kreme
box.
type box. Yeah. So I was like, oh, my man, donuts, and then he opened it. If that would have been Dino Nuggies, I would have fell off my couch. I just called it a day. I'd be like, you know, I don't have to watch the rest of Raw.
Yeah, exactly. And then Carlito gets an apple, but yet JD and what's her name? I forget her name. What's her name? Oh no,
it's gonna come to you. It's gonna come.
No, it's
gonna come. It's gonna come. I have faith.
What's her name, dude?
Raquel Rodriguez.
Raquel, there you go. Yeah, we're definitely gonna shorten that bit.
That's gonna be cut for time. You guys want some dead air for 10 seconds? Let Eddie try and think of Liv Morgan's partner's name.
Yeah, like brain fart. But no, what's it called? So hear me out, right? This is what I think is gonna happen. I think because they openly said, "Oh yeah, we've been talking for the last couple of weeks." So now they brought that information out to the viewers, right? But I'm thinking, Roxanne is gonna play like that double agent, try to seduce Dom because we know he falls very easily for the new girl, right?
Okay.
But then in reality, this is like Finn's master plan to get the Judgment Day to implode, and then that's where we get the breakup of Dom, Liv, and Raquel, and then
what's her name?
and then we get like Finn, JD, and Roxanne, and kind of have that new feud going on. But I think that's what's going to end up happening.
I mean, you called it. I think when you said maybe Julia was involved too, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Somebody right. Okay, but since she moved over, but
yeah,
the segment was good because Finn even said, he's like, she's not a part of the Judgment Day. When we need help, she's just going to be around.
Yeah,
like
Carlito and R-Truth at one point, right?
Exactly. So I think it was great. Roxanne Perez, of course, I love. So this is going to be fantastic, and I agree with you. She's gonna find a way to play like an AJ Lee role of like, oh, and like crazy it all up and then just go, go nuts. So it's gonna be fun. But I was glad to see that she's gonna get some tech with them and get some more storyline besides just the women's match stuff, the women's matches. But actually, get a little more airtime doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And then we get Jay versus Braun finally, right? Because this match was like super crazy. It was long. It felt long, but it was crazy. It was good because they both have come so far, meaning like Jay as a singles superstar, as a champion, but then also like Braun, man. Braun is really he's on that. To me, he's on Jacob's level, right? Like that level of like, hey, I'm technically new, even though they're not. We're technically new, but we're here and we're making waves, we're making movements, and we're here to be recognized. And kudos to them, man. They good job for looking like formidable, like threatening wrestlers, holding down a main event of a Monday Night Raw. I was super happy with that, for sure.
Yeah. No, the match was good, and like you said, they looked great. Braun Breaker just impresses me more and more every time I see him. Like he's just a phenomenal athlete. It's unbelievable. And then of course, Jey Uso. I mean,
he's coming
feuds with the New Days and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's like crazy to think of where he has been, before his now breakout role as main event. Like, so great match in terms of, telling the story. And then of course, Heyman's going to get involved. And then the funny thing is, so I'm going to bring up what happened, and then I'm going to circle back to it for a second. So then out of nowhere, Seth Rollins comes through the crowd to interfere in the match and hit Jey Uso and then kind of attack from there. But the funny part to me was the entire time they were setting up for that segment, you could see the audience all looking in the direction of where Seth Rollins was coming from. Like everyone, like if you watch the match, you could see everyone behind him staring in that back area. Every angle they took, they had it. So I was like, Seth's coming out from there. And sure enough, he did.
Yeah, I peeped that too. But overall, great brawl, right? Because then with that interference, then we get a 2-on-1 with Braun and Seth against Jay, but then we get Sammy out and Punk really like building up this like basically overnight quick feud for Saturday night's main event, right? For that match. So
the tag match,
yeah. Super great job overall as far as the episode goes. I guess the only thing that that kind of bothered me the whole night, which is what we've been mentioning throughout the whole episode, is just a lot of in between stuff, a lot of fillers. It's like that's understandable for SmackDown. That's 3 hours, but not on a 2 hour. Let's just get to it. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but she still had 5 matches, 6 matches maybe. I mean, you're still able to do that. So I mean, just like I said, because of entrances being what they are now, you have to fill some time somewhere, especially for the people at home. Packages, vignettes, stuff like that. It's going to be what we get, which sometimes, most of the times, is great, but sometimes it does feel like it's a bit much. Right. Hey man, I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
I'm just saying, I could have lived without the Michael Cole barbecue shower. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think everyone can. I think everyone realistically can. Like, no offense to Michael Cole, but we don't really need to see that 40-year-old man writhing around in barbecue sauce.
Michael Cole, baby.
So great ending. Like you said, it was just a Saturday night's main event melee at the end. And went out to the crowd, and after Sammy came out, the whole crowd was chanting CM Punk, and then finally he came, and solid episode. Good setup for what's coming up on Saturday, which should be a great PLE, and we're gonna do a preview episode coming up, so something for everyone to look forward to.
See, yeah, no, I agree with your final thought. I say overall great episode, and just to reiterate, just these little fillers, man. I just felt overwhelmed. I just felt like it was a little bit too much this time around.
Right.
It didn't seem like that the last couple of Raws, but overall good episode, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Great matches, and definitely ready for the rest of the week, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because we're gonna have a hell of a night on Friday. Should be interesting setup, and then you have that Street Profits match coming up. That's gonna be really, really good, and versus Fraxium. So that should be awesome. And then we get the main event. So, which I know you will be attending. So, and I have to work. So I will be watching that on Saturday night as I'm driving home, eyes on the phone while Amanda drives. So, yeah. But
like how you cleaned that up because it made it sound like you were driving.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's a wonderful idea. Like,
yeah, man. But, I got nothing else.
Yeah, no. I just want to, as always, just want to, tell everyone out there, thank you for listening. Thank you for following. Thank you for everything that you guys are doing for us. We're trying to, build, little by little. So once again, anyone that who kind of likes wrestling or, I always tell people, hey, listen, just hit play on it and turn the volume down. Not a problem. Like that's fine. No, seriously, I want to thank everybody for always following and backing us up and having such nice, positive, good things to say. We look forward to a lot bigger and better things coming up for everybody.
Yes, absolutely. We got so much more coming up. We're just going to be throwing so many things at you week by week. Don't be surprised. I know we said we were going to be weekly episodic, but it seems like more and more is coming our way, and we're definitely grateful and thankful for that. And we're excited that you guys are excited because we've been getting that feedback. We've been hearing, yes, keep going, keep talking. When can we talk about this and that? You know what? I actually forgot to bring this up. Someone reached out and was like, hey, can we talk about ECW's One Night Stand pay-per-view like back in? Absolutely. And I was like, whoa, okay, yeah.
I'll go back and watch One Night Stand right now, and then happily have a conversation about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So that kind of thing gets us, excited and keeps us going. So we definitely appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. Please. And como siempre, primo.
No. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. Don't forget Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, all the places, primosforlife.com. We love you. We couldn't do this without you, and we will see you when we see you.
Good night.